Yes, hello everyone. How you doing? Is all right. Welcome to a live video here on Newcastle Fans TV after Newcastle have, faced probably the two biggest teams in England. In fact, they are the two biggest teams in terms of the best teams. I mean by that. But welcome everybody. Welcome. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube. We are discussing. Well, you can see the main title. Dan Ashworth is potentially heading the way in Newcastle. I'm actually very happy about that. But before we begin, we've got lots to rattle through, loads to get through. We are actually sponsored by the One Football app. The link is in the description for that. I actually found out about Dan Ashworth actually today, believe it or not, through the app. Have a look at it. The link is in the description for there. It tells you all the latest news. It puts all the articles across the web into one for you. Obviously, we've been linked heavily to Coup and Trippier, but not also that. It tells you the results from obviously the game. If you go into the Manchester City game, you can go into a lot more depth. So have a look at it. It's free to download. It is the One Football app. A link is in the description for that. Right. So welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. It's just me with you. I thought we'll put this live video together. Please like the video. That would be absolutely wonderful. We do have a second video live later on tonight over on our sister channel NFTV Extra at 8:45, where Sam and Johnny are looking back, a Christmas special, and they're going to be taking a look back at all of the year, the many, many highs that podcast has had, and so many fabulous guests as well. Of course, members would have already known that. Our members who pay a little as $1.99 to see all the exclusive and more videos behind the scenes. Right then. So shall we get to it? We've got a few news I want to wrap up because we haven't really talked about it much on the channel as such. And I wanted to begin with Jurgen Klopp speaking about Mark Leyland, who has departed and now is part of Newcastle's analyst team. So this is in the Liverpool Echo. You can check this out here. Jurgen Klopp confirms incredibly important backroom staff members left Newcastle, and this was 5 days ago that this went out. And now Mark Leyland, who is part of, well, you can see what Klopp says. He goes on to say, Mark was here longer than I was, an incredible, important member of our staff with his post-match analysis and the individual work he did with the players. He's a top guy on top of that, but he had the chance to get a more senior role at Newcastle, which we couldn't offer here. He was eager to make the next step in his career. So it's somebody who's ambitious. He's going to come to Newcastle. He's going to work with Eddie Howe, and he's going to be part of working with the first team analysts. And I think it's Eddie Howe trying to shape up his backroom team. He's got a few of his first team staff in. We knew that the under-23s already made a change about a week or two before Eddie Howe was coming in. So that was already done before he came in. I don't think there'll be any changes there. And of course, we've got another one to talk about in just a second, but we'll come to your chat. We're going to keep coming back and forth to your chat. Hello, Ron. I hope you are good. Trev, I hope you are good as well. I hope you have a top Christmas as well. The videos will keep rolling here on NFTV despite it being Christmas. Ginger, who's a regular commenter, says normally in a top club there is 2 director of football and a director of operations, 1 for transfers and squad responsibility, 1 for the financial side as well. And yes, Tottenham are out of the Europa Conference because they couldn't fulfill their fixture, and Premier League meetings set to carry on with games. We are talking about that. We are coming back to that. And Johnny's in the chat as well over on Extra. I've just plugged that on 8:45 on NFTV Extra. Those two are live also chatting about the year. But so I think it's a good thing that we're bringing in, because we've been so used to Steve Bruce, and even when Eddie Howe came in at the training ground, we were so used to like Steve Bruce just standing there, just watching things happen. Whereas Eddie Howe's involved in telling people and advising, don't do this, but you should do that because of X, Y, and Z. And it's so refreshing to see that the whole squad and the analysts are actually getting an upgrade as well. And hopefully, Amanda Stevie's talked about the training ground and the youth development and the women's side as well. They'll get a massive investment, and hopefully that does happen very, very, very shortly. So that was the first piece of news. So obviously he'll work for Eddie Howe for post-match analysis. But I wanted to come across another one who is helping Newcastle United at the moment. I'll just put it on the share screen, is Nick Hammond. Now, I don't know too much about him. All I know from Nick Hammond, this is just off the top of my head, he's a goalkeeper. He's worked at Celtic and Reading in recent years. Yeah, you can see this is on Sky Sports News, and this was on Friday. Newcastle have obviously already added Mark Leyland, as we've talked about. He's left Liverpool, but he's going to come in. As you can see, a short-term deal for a transfer consultant. Hammond will oversee the January transfer window and has been tasked with bringing in players to help Eddie Howe's side in the battle avoid the relegation from the Premier League. Howe said last week he was looking forward to working with whoever the club appointed. Hammond is a second arrival arrived at the club this week following Mark Leyland. There he is there. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know too much about him. Short term, that doesn't fill me with great confidence. But obviously the club are working. They've appointed a company to work with hiring someone in long term. But he's here to try and get players over the line in January. That worries me a little bit that the club haven't got someone full time. But you never know. He might be the guy to become full time because if he impresses, you never know. He's just 36 years of old. Obviously, he's worked with Howard Junior's time as manager at Newcastle. This is on about Mark Leyland there. But Nick Hammond comes in with the January transfer, and Reading Celtic, does it again fulfill me with great confidence? No, I don't know too much about Celtic's dealings. I don't have loads of money. Never did Reading, to be honest with you. But yeah, get taken over by the MK Dons. Yeah. I'm sure you mentioned that the other day, Shelley. My Sunday League manager spoke during training. Bruce was just awful. Steve, I don't do tactics, Bruce says Seth as well. And Mike R's gone out and say it's not the be and end all if we get relegated again. I think it's a stepping stone for our club for success. And we'll read the last one up before we move on to the next story. Director, footballer, sports director, or technical director are all different names for the same. And it's just wherever you are, which club you're at as well. But they're the two ones that have come in at Newcastle. Obviously, we'll talk about Dan Ashworth a little bit more in depth in a few more minutes. But the January transfer window opens in 12 days time. So Newcastle now we need to speed up and start feeding out, who's available. Can we get I don't know. I'm not suggesting these type of players, but maybe like a Martial who's unhappy or a Aubameyang or people who are not playing and Lingards and what have you. Because at the end of the day, there might be mercenaries, but Newcastle need to stay up and we probably are going to sign one or two of them. So it's just gonna have to be, isn't it? We will get probably a bargain or two, but we know that there's money is there. And is Nick Hammond, can he convince to come to Premier League club and what have you? Eddie Howe will obviously have his say. It's going to be a tough conversation to have, and maybe I have to pay a stupid amount of wages, but we do have it. And like I say, I think we will find that we will have a few mercenaries. We'll switch the article because obviously that was Nick Hammond. I wanted just to briefly talk about the Premier League statement which was made today that the football is continuing. I'm personally delighted. I think it's a great time right now that there's a break in the football because they've seen so many players come down with the Omicron variant and it's spreading. And it might not just be the Omicron, it might be just the normal COVID that they're picking up, not the actual that variant itself. But it's a week until the next Premier League fixture. Well, I say it's the weekend coming up now, but for Newcastle, it's another 7 days. We don't have a game. And I think Newcastle are only a few clubs that haven't been affected. We've played all this period in December, and there's other clubs who haven't played, like Manchester United, for 3 weeks. Now, obviously, we're playing Manchester United. Will they be fresh? Will they be rusty? You just don't know. But obviously, there was meetings with players, captains, and the Premier League bosses and what have you today in the Premier League. Whilst recognising a number of experienced COVID-19 outbreaks and challenges, the leagues basically they just want to continue in a safe manner. Obviously, they go on to say that the health and well-being is priority for the league to continue. All the issues were discussed and so on. The league also confirmed that 92% of its players and clubs staff have received 1, 2, or 3 COVID-19 vaccinations, with 84% of the players on the vaccination journey. I've had all 3 of mine. I've even had the flu jab as well, because not worse. I think the flu's even difficult, but I think it's good that that's going to continue. We're going to have football, and of course, it has to be done in a safe environment. Of course, it does. But Newcastle's next game, Manchester United. I mean, I was extra careful at St James's Park the other day. I didn't take my mask down. I kept it up. I didn't even do a video with I kept my mask up as well. I'm just being safe myself because the last thing I want to do is bring it home to my family as well. So I'm sure that's just my personal choice on that. But great that the football's continuing, because then we've got Manchester United, we've got Everton away, which we'll be at. And of course, then the new year, you're seeing Southampton, and then you've got the FA Cup game. And then you've also got the Leeds one. I know Henry Winter tweeted out today that he was a bit worried that the games may be played behind closed doors if fans are continuing to go to games. I can understand his frustration in that. That's the last thing that we want is games back, because it'll suck the life out of me. I'm not going to lie. I love going home and away, and I'll go to every one. And I love making the content. I'm frustrated because it takes us in the middle of the night and what have you, but I still love it at the same time. But if you take away going to games for me will kill me. Like I already work from home. It'll kill me not going to games, having to be indoor all the time. And no, I don't want that to happen. Really don't want that to happen. Carl's gone on to say, read some of your comments out. Carl's gone on to say, can't see the point of suspending games. Players will mix with friends and family, so nothing will be achieved as well. And are you going on a stadium tour again, says Wolfstone? Yeah, I'm looking to do a rooftop tour, actually. I've got the rooftop one. I got that as a gift. Still yet to do it. So, yeah, possibly. Jane Atlanta, nice to see you, pal. Jane Atlanta has been a member of ours for a long, long time. Supports us. So thank you very much, Jay. I am mentally dug in, regardless of results throughout the end of the year. Yeah, we're nearly at the end. We're nearly at the end. Jack's got something to say about Nick. Hammond probably just wants to get the players over the line. And the consortium already have the target of the one to sign. Good shout. Very good comment. Very sensible comment that as well. And if you join this video, if you can help us out by smashing that like button, that would be absolutely wonderful. We put this video together just last minute, put it all together. Right, how I'm going to do a video talk about the news, because there is quite a bit. But yeah, fantastic that the news that the Premier League games are continuing. That's the good news. Right, we'll switch it up, and this is the big one, and it's a great article on the Chronicle about who Dan Ashworth was. Who is, sorry. Now, even without even reading the article, Dan Ashworth, what I knew about him, that he was at West Brom, and then he went to England, and England were very, very successful. I am actually really buzzing if this happens. A lot of strong media reports from respectable outlets such as Sky Sports News and The Athletic are claiming that we have permission, and the Chronicle have picked it up as well, that we have permission to speak to Dan Ashworth. The reason why I'm excited about it, because what he's done at England and the signings at Brighton. Remember, Brighton don't have a big budget. We'll have a look at their squad in a second. But what he did in England, he changed the whole philosophy of the youth development, and we started winning Euros. We started winning World Cups. You remember Freddie Woodman? He won the World Cup. So, and the women got a third place in 2015. He got a semi-final in the World Cup with Gareth Southgate. It was his philosophy. And there's loads of people who have praised him. And if you go back when he worked, and I had to look this up earlier on, when you go back and look at what he did at Peterborough, he brought in the likes of Simon Davis, the Welsh national, Matthew Everton, left winger, who obviously went on to play for Spurs and West Ham. And there's a few more that he's down there. And Barry Fry speaks really highly of him. Gareth Southgate does. I think it might be in this article as well. There you can see like some of the success that England have had since he came in and changed the operations around. West Brom, he found bargains such as Graham Dorrans, Malumbu, Jonas Olsson as well. Remember, don't have much money, West Brom. So you can find a bargain. Of course, this is on the flip reverse. You know, excuse me. England, obviously, he brought in a lot of youth players. West Brom, he found bargain. Brighton, he did. But this is going to be flip reverse at Newcastle, because we've got loads of money. And it's just Lefty's role at Brighton in October 2021. Agreed a deal to work for Cricket's county club. Left his post for a role with Brighton, sorry. But earlier, just literally a couple of months ago, he's helping the Warwickshire side out. So Brighton have given us permission to speak to him. Obviously, he's got loads of experience the past decades. Oh, there it is. Barry Fry, I was just saying there. Excellent academy. Brought in Matthew Everton, Simon Davis, St. Ledger, Irish International, Adam Dewey, the fullback. Mark McKeever, I don't know who he is. I'm not going to lie, he is. But you can see here some of the quotes that Southgate said about all the success that he's had. And I want to know what you think. Do you know much of him? What you feel of him? Well, obviously we'll take a look at Brighton's squad as well in a second. Tom's gone to say, I've always rated Ashworth. He's been a great asset for the whole club going forward. If we can pull this off, I totally agree. I think it'll be a nice little scoop for Newcastle. I really do. Jack's gone on, same, would be class and sensible appointment in my opinion. I totally agree as well. Should have sorted this earlier, ages ago, says 40. And I might, I shout out to Roots TV. Big shout out, big close pals of mine as well. So 40's doing big stuff with Roots TV. And if Boris can have a party when us Muppets are in lockdown, there isn't a chance in hell. I'll be having a quiet Christmas. I don't think the whole of the UK will be, to be brutally honest with you. And these names are nobodies. Why they want to hire a director of football? But at the time though, Ginger, you talk about Matthew Everton, Simon Davis, Sean St. Ledgers, Peterborough were League One. He found these players, got them in the youth team, worked with them, and then all three of them become internationals for Peterborough. And then you say the nobodies, but you've also got to have a look at Brighton squad. The Brighton, who play really nice, attractive football. his job is to go and recruit younger players for Brighton to potentially sell on, but also to help the way they style their football. We'll have a look at Brighton squad in a moment. And he's only there for 2 months as well. Yes, totally. Well, we'll go back. We'll have a look. This is obviously still the Chronicle article, but I just wanted to have a look at Brighton squad, because you go through Brighton squad right there, and there's a few years that you would take at Newcastle without a shadow of a doubt. You would take Tariq Lamptey, got him on an absolute steal. You would take him without a shadow of a doubt. You would. You might take one or two centre backs like Dunk, perhaps. I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Cucurella, left back, he's looks impressive since they've signed him as well. Another bargain. Basuma, absolutely being talked about having a move to the top 6. Neil Maupay, getting double figures each Premier League season. If he's not going to get ahead of Callum Wilson, but he could be the next best thing off the bench. Trossard, a Belgian international. So he does work with. You can see the list there. He does work, and you can find bargains, and also youth development as well. So I'm happy. I am happy that if Dan Ashworth, and it does look like that he's going to come in, I'm going to say I'm actually happy with that appointment, because where we're at in terms of a club, where we are at a club near towards the bottom of the Premier League, we cannot just go crazy and spend and hope it's success. We've got to look at what youth development as well. And if you look at what youth development, it's awful, man. You take the Longstaffs out, and you haven't had near one for years since Dummett. And then before Dummett was Andy Carroll. So really, in the last 15 years, you've had 4 players who become, I wouldn't even say 3, I'll say 3 players become. Matty's come back to the club, and he's not a regular, is he? So Sean's amongst the squad. But, we've got to look at also, if we're going to go crazy, we've got to look at in our own backyard as well and try and get a lot of these under 18s, the likes of Michael and Dweedy, who's banging it in a minute. Dylan Stephen, who's banging the goals in for the under 23s, but we need loads more of them. Needs loads more better coaching and what have you. I know that'll come, but I just think it's a sensible appointment, and it's the right appointment for Newcastle to come in as well. I wanted to move on and talk about the Premier League and these referee decisions, because I didn't really talk much about it. Obviously, I was frustrated after the game, and I'll let Matt do most of the talking, but pissed off with them, the amount of decisions, not just small decisions going against Newcastle. These are like massive decisions that are costing them goals. You look at Leicester City, the last 3 games. You look at Leicester City and the Maddison dive. I mean, first of all, I did say in the video, Lascelles, if you're dangling your leg out, you're going to be asked for. Maddison dives out his leg and waits for it to be contacted. So Lascelles shouldn't be doing it. But Maddison dives. It's as simple as that. Yes, that probably didn't affect us in terms of the result, but we could have hung in there longer, and we could have, I don't know, stayed in it 0-0, 1-0 longer than we could. But that's a cost number, and the morale, it sinks because we 1-0 down. We concede another, it's game over. So that was the Leicester one, to clear dive. And then you look at the Liverpool one with Mike Dean, man. Mike Dean. Diego Jota, man. He has 2 bites at the cherry and he puts it in, but he's free. And why is he free? Because whether you believe, and a couple of Liverpool fans have been on the comments and saying, oh, he faked it and all that, but why would a player fake being injured, lying in the box when there's a cross just about to come in? That doesn't make sense to me. Whether it's a serious injury or he's feigning the injury, he's holding his head. So the referee has to look at it and pause the game because it could be something serious. And that's cost Newcastle United a goal. So that's Leicester a goal. That's Liverpool a goal. And these are costing us. We only got beat 3-1 the other night of Liverpool. And if that goal doesn't go in, we could have gone into half-time, perhaps 1-1. I know Salah scored, but you don't know. We could have scraped a point out of it. Again, it's costing them with fucking goals. And again, Manchester City one, the Ryan Fraser incident. Again, it might not cost away the game, but you'd never know. You could be in it longer. We might get a point out of it. You just don't know, right? And then you see Ryan Fraser. Cancelo takes the ball away, so yes. But quite clearly, Ederson comes flying out. He's not in control and wipes Ryan Fraser out. And how is that not even a penalty? Because if it's anywhere on the other end of the pitch, if a player does that or a player, it's a free kick. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, these are blatant. It's not like a throwing that's went wrong but they're happy to look at VAR when Matt Ritchie's asleep Don't get me started on Matt Ritchie because he cost for 2 goals. But when Matt Ritchie's allows Moraes and they look at the VAR and they give it, and they can't even look at this thing. There's loads of people. Alan Shearer's come out and spoke about it. I said, "How, man? These are blatant, shocking decisions, and you can see why." There's some Newcastle fans who think there's I don't personally, but you can see why some Newcastle fans think there's a conspiracy happening against their own football club with the decisions. Absolutely bonkers. And then you've got like Keith Hackett. You should follow Keith Hackett. He's a former referee. He's a manager referees on Twitter. You should really follow him on Twitter because he's been calling them out. He calling Mike Riley out, somewhat rotten, because he used to manage the referees, Keith Hackett. Have a look at it. Alan Shearer's been calling them out. Mark Halsey, who spoke a while back saying that the FA used to try and favour certain teams to get advantage. He's a referee. He's actually physically come out and said that. And these decisions, it's probably for those conspiracies, the people believe in them, it has something to do with the takeover. And let us know. I use one of them as well because it's just bizarre. And that was the next story I wanted to talk to you about because this has been brought up. Luke Edwards was the first one to bring it up, and then the Mail have followed it up and says Newcastle expected to file an official complaint about refereeing standards to the Premier League after a host of decisions went against them in their losses against Leicester, Liverpool, Manchester City. And obviously there's the guy there who dived, and obviously there's the head injury, which shouldn't have been a goal. A couple of adverts. We don't want to say Boris Johnson, less of him and the better. And there's Ryan Fraser. Absolutely, he's come out and he was devastated about how he wasn't given a penalty. And Eddie Howe's come out post match and talked about he doesn't want to come out on camera and speak about decisions because that's just what managers do. We use them as excuses. But now he's having to talk about a decision one after another that Newcastle may potentially. Well, the Telegraph are definitely saying it is, and the Mail have jumped on the story that they're going to put in a complaint. And we've got Craig Pawson next Monday, so there'll be pressure on him. But with the Man United game that goes ahead because some of these decisions are just, they're not even basic decisions, are they? They're not even basic decisions, man. They're like fucking hell. It's like clear cut. They fucking clear cut. And you never know. Newcastle could have had an extra point or two with these difficult fixtures. You don't know as well. Let's have a look at what he's saying as well. VR is destroying the game, consumes too much time, and doesn't even do the correct decisions. Yeah, I know. Would you go back and just get rid of it? Just keep it for like goal line stuff? Big six favoritism, says Jack. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. All the cameras in every direction, yet no one talks about diving. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Use it for goal line things. Yeah, there you go. 3 team reviews per game as per cricket, or like the VAR thing, the VAR system. It's interesting that because they do the sim bins in lower league levels, don't they? If you're in the verge of being sent off, they put you in the sim bin in non-league, don't they? VAR's fine. The problem is who's controlled by the Premier League. Great point, Ian. Great point. That's been mentioned in the media the last 24 hours or so. I don't like conspiracy theories, but it's looking obvious that there's something going on against us as well. It's not a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy is hidden. This is blatant as well. And then when are you going to upload your videos of when you won at Newcastle United Foundation? Yes, we will be. It will be this week, Wolfstone, because we've won an award. So yes, we will be doing that. So it'll be up this week. The award dinner that we done, and the amount of joke the mistakes I've made this season is absolutely bonkers. But we just got one more thing. Just to quickly tell you about over on NFTV Extra. You can see they're live in 80 minutes at 8:45. Johnny. And you've also got Sam, who will be talking about their guests. You can see Sir John Hall in there, Mark Clattenburg, Stephen Carr, Stephen Taylor, many more as well. They'll be talking about the nervousness going into Sir John Hall's, which I was there with them, and getting all these famous names, big names as well. So please tune in at 8:45 over on NFTV Extra. And if you are watching, if you can help smash the like. If you're watching the rerun of this, get your comments down there below. What you make of everything that we've talked about. Dan Ashworth, the big one, those refereeing decisions. The analysts, Nick Hammond coming in, the Premier League continuing as well. Plenty more videos on both channels. We've also got Matt, who has done a match vlog as well for the Manchester City. That's going to go up on Extra in a couple of days' time as well. And then obviously we've got the awards video to put out as well. Have a good night, everyone. Ta-da. Watch what it's doing. Bye-bye.